One of the things that I'm seeing people get hung up on today is marketing, but marketing effectively. Marketing from a place of something that's off the hip, something that you do every once in a while, something that's not really taking the time to share what you have with other people. And this is just me and my experience from working with hundreds and hundreds of business owners and entrepreneurs just this year. One of the things that I'm seeing is that a lot of people are getting excited about what they're creating, which is good. You should be passionate about what you're creating and what you're putting out into the world. But what I'm not seeing is a passion and I'm not seeing the stamina for marketing. Sometimes we put so much energy and so much effort into creating the thing that we give everything we have into creating our product or service. But then when it comes to the marketing side of it, we don't have any energy, or we don't have the stamina to, just the stamina. That's how most people are operating their businesses, to where they spending all this time creating, but then when it comes to the marketing, it falls flat, right? And then you basically kind of just wasted your time and energy, because the whole purpose of creating this was to get this out into as many hands as possible and to get it to as many people as possible. So I want us to make a mind shift and say that when it really comes to marketing, that, obviously you want to have a strategy, but I also want you to have the stamina, because a lot of times you're going to put out things and it's not going to work perfectly the first time. Like, I just did a call with my group this past Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'm with my group. It's called Productive Business Coaching. And we talk about different things in regards to marketing, building our brand, skilling up on what we do, creating products and services and things of that nature. And recently we were just talking about, what do we need to do in regards to, how we present ourselves, how we put out the things that we put out. What do we need to do in regards to like a hot thing right now is challenges, right? So you might see different influencers doing challenges, but I showed them a page of when I did my challenge. I did one the beginning of this year and I did one last year, and basically I was doing them every quarter. And what I mean to tell you, it wasn't, I put it together. I mean, it looked pretty nice, but one of the things that I almost never did before was put as much time into marketing it as I did into actually the creation of it, because it looked good in everything that I did. But everything that was like one project that I did that actually really worked, because we had like something crazy, like 300 or plus people who signed up for the challenge, right? And it was basically like the productivity challenge, who motivates you, put things down in your calendar, your schedule, different things that I talk about when I'm talking about personal development. That's usually what I'm talking a lot about is more on the productivity side, right? So I say that to say, anytime you creating something, if you have a product or service, you can actually take money for what you have. Talk about, my goal is, to put out as much valuable content. I'm not holding any punches back. And, and whoever this helps or whoever this run with, we had a lot of people, I've had people who take, just jumping on lives like this, or, or me talking to them one-on-one, or, or just putting it in my feed and they taking it and run with it, and if they say, yo, I love what you're doing, yo, I think I could use it, or I feel like you can help, and they want to work with me, that's cool, but my goal is to empower as many people as possible, whether they work with me or not. All right, Brim, I appreciate you, and I am YPR Jones. All right, so let me give you a couple things about marketing that I'm praying that this haunts you. I want what we're going to talk about to stay on your mind when it comes to marketing. So let me give you a couple things. One, right? We already talked about having a marketing stamina, but what does that really mean, Terrell? Like, what do you mean when you say marketing stamina? So when you put out things, it's not going to work the first time, right? So let's say that, let's talk about social media, obviously, because we're all on social media, right? We on IG, we doing different things. Let's talk about that. When figure out and pay attention to what seems to be working. One of the things that I've noticed, and it's a big mistake that most business owners or entrepreneurs make, especially on social media, is they're not noticing what works. When I really first started getting into this space and started being on IG heavy and actually specifically became an influencer, I was helping college students. right? Go from college into their career. And I was just posting. There was no strategy behind what I was doing. I wasn't paying attention to any kind of numbers. I didn't know who liked what. I didn't know why. I didn't know who was the type of people that I was liking what I have. I didn't know who followed me. I didn't know anything. But it was not until I decided, I made a decision, a conscious decision, that I will pay attention to what is working, and I'm going to pay attention to what people like, and I'm going to pay attention to what people are engaging with. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start there, because if you're creating content that's engaging, that people find valuable, that they like, that's visually stimulating or sounds good, and they like it for whatever reasons that they like it for, then now you have more people engaging with your brand and your business. The more people you have engaging with your brand and your business, obviously you're going to have more people who are looking at the products and services that you have, right? And the more you do that, I mean, it's just going to flow, right? Prayerfully, if you have what you have is valuable, you're going to have more people that actually want to work with you or buy your products and buy your services. Attention to what is working. Because if you just out here just putting out different things and you just posting like, oh, this is cool, I like this quote, or this is, or you just speaking direct to camera or whatever, and you just doing different things, but you don't know what's working, you'll get frustrated at yourself and be like, damn, maybe people don't really, like what I have, or maybe people don't feel like what I'm talking about is valuable, and it might not necessarily mean that it's not valuable, that what you have is or what you're talking about is not valuable to people, but just the way that you're delivering it, maybe they just don't like the way that it's formatted or the way that it looks. You know what I mean? So like, I'm gonna give you a personal example. Like for me, one of the things that I was doing that I've noticed is that sometimes when I put out quotes, right? Depends. So I've been putting out quotes. And sometimes when I put out quotes, certain types of ways that I design the quotes don't work. And I've tested different things purposely, right? I've tested me with the picture on top, and I've tested me with the quotes on the bottom. That did okay, right? I tested me with just a white background, and then I just posted the quote, right? And within my brand colors, right? Which is like teal and white, right? I did I've done quotes where I put the quotes over it, right? I've done quotes to where the quotes are in the middle. I've done quotes to where they're lined up on the left side, they're lined up on the right side, right? So I've tested different things, and I got it to a place that to where, and I'm always, and it's not like, oh, this seems to be working, I'm just gonna forget about it. I'm always paying attention to it, right? But now I know when I post certain types of quotes in a certain way, I know what kind of works. You know what I'm saying? I know that when I say certain things in my quotes, or if I say certain things in a certain way, like if I say it maybe in a direct way or in a motivational way or whatever, that works, right? If I make quotes that's like 10 lines long, those don't work as much for me, right? I've noticed that there's certain types of posts that work for me. I've noticed that when I post infographics, my audience loves infographics, right? So I post infographics about business and different things, right? And and so that works, right? There's other types of posts that I post that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? If I'm posting, I've noticed that there's certain types of videos. So as I'm saying these things, kind of think about yourself. Like, well, one, damn, am I actually paying attention to what's working or what's not working? Or am I just seeing, oh, I got low numbers or low engagement, it's not working, right? Because just like my man said, Jam the Creative, content marketing, right? That means you got to be putting out content. So what we're talking about is the content that you're putting out. And when you put out great content, guess what? That's marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is marketing when you put out great content, because people are going to naturally want to work with you when you putting out great things and they feel like what you have could benefit and they can get a return on their investment. So, but you got to be paying attention to the numbers, be paying attention to what works. There's a reason why Instagram has analytics, right? So first of all, if you don't have the business analytics set up on your page, you want to make sure that you set that up on your page. You know what I mean? Because that's going to tell you, okay, what are the if you look like within the last year, you're going to see, okay, these are the top performing posts of the last year. These videos had the most engagement in the past 30 days or whatever. But you got to pay attention to those, because you're going to see trends. And that's one of the things that I want you to look at those trends of what is working and what is not working, right? And once you start doing that, say, oh, you know what? When I post a video where I'm talking directly into the camera, for some reason that doesn't seem to be working. But you know what? When I post videos of me interviewing somebody, it seems to be working. And actually for me, that's kind of like that, right? So like when I do kind of direct to camera videos, it does okay. I know a lot of people get value from it, so it's not really a value thing. I think it's just more kind of like a preference thing. But typically, like if I'm doing like interview style videos, or if I post me doing speaking engagements, then that seems to get more that definitely seems to get more engagement and commentary and different things of that nature. Right now, the only reason I know that is because I've been paying attention to it. Right. So, for me, I post pictures, but pictures don't always hit for me, so I don't post as many pictures of just me, just like a regular picture of me, like, or if I do post a picture, I notice the pictures that do the best for me are the ones that where I post a picture, but I'm basically like telling like a story or explaining something like in the description. You know what I'm saying? So the only way that you're going to know any of this of what I'm talking about is if you actually are paying attention to what you are posting. And don't just be random because you feel like you don't have time or whatever, because over the long term, when it comes to marketing, right? One of the things that you want to be able to do is make sure that you're doing split testing. Okay. So when you're doing the split testing, do it. And this is something that I'm playing around too. So you might have seen me post, you might have seen like different things for me pop up in your feed, right? Or ads and stuff pop up in your feed for me. One of the things you got to have, and this is really going to take marketing and stamina too, is, okay, let test one thing at a time. First, you got to split test. If you don't know what a split test is, if you like you're green to this, you don't know. Split testing is basically you take the two things and you test and see which one wins, and then you see one. Okay, this one seems to get more engagement. This one I seem to be getting more opt-ins. This one seems to be going to my website more, or whatever you're testing, and then you take that and you don't say, all right, I'm good for life. No, you take something else, you change one element, and then you test that. Okay, this works. Then you change another element. You change another element. And honestly, that process continues to go on, right? Until you really get it so optimized that it's like, okay, I'm going to leave it at this. But you honestly always want to be testing, especially when it comes to paid marketing, right? Or you're doing Facebook